Have you ever tried to cook a chicken breast only to find out that at the end it was super dry and not that flavorful? You are not alone. While chicken breast is really healthy, it doesn't have a lot of fat, which means that the line from being juicy and flavorful to super dry is very thin. So how can we help prevent chicken from drying out in the oven? I've got a few sciencey tricks up my sleeve. The first is to brine it, and let's talk about the science of what's happening with the brine. Essentially, we've got a super salty solution that we're going to put the chicken in for a few hours. A good ratio for a brine is about a cup of salt for every gallon of water. I've got a fourth of that here. And we're going to put the chicken into the brine and let it sit for a couple of hours. Of course, a chicken breast is mainly protein, and proteins are complex bundles of hundreds or thousands of building blocks called amino acids. These little protein Legos are folded into a specific way, but salt, heat, or acidity can help change the shape and structure of the proteins. So with the brine, we've introduced a super salty solution around the chicken. This denatures the proteins a little bit, forming small gaps that water can move into. This is super important because when we cook the chicken, it's going to dry out immensely due to just plain evaporation. So the first objective of the brine is to put more water into the chicken to begin with. The chicken can soak in the fridge for an hour or two, and you want to be sure to remove it from the fridge at least 30 minutes before cooking to allow it to come to room temperature. Then rinse and pat dry. We don't want to leave the brine on the chicken directly because it's super salty. Also, if you cook cold chicken straight into a hot pan or oven, it will shock the proteins and cause a rapid loss of all of that juiciness that we're working so hard to preserve. So be sure that you let it come to room temperature. You can then roast the chicken with any seasonings that you like. Be sure you get it to an internal temperature of 165. I recommend removing the chicken from the oven around 160 because it's going to continue to cook for a few minutes while you rest it. Resting is super important. It allows the juiciness to redistribute within the meat. If you cut into the chicken immediately, all of that juice will just run out onto your plate. It's better to wait at least 5 and even 10 minutes before you cut, because then the juices will stay in each delicious bite of chicken. Let's take a look at what the chicken breast looked like. This one was brined. And this one wasn't. Our two chicken breasts lost exactly the same percentage of water weight when cooked, but as you can see, the portion that was brined is visibly juicier, and that's because it had more liquid infused to begin with. So remember, brine, bring to room temp, and rest for the perfectly cooked chicken breast every time.